Good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to today's Cichlids and Coffee. And I hope you're having a cup of your favorite beverage wherever you are. And hopefully out of one of these cups. Shameless plug. So welcome everybody. I see we have already a good crew on the chat and more jumping in. Hey, Davey Larson. Glad you're here. Making up time. Cichlid King's in the house. CC Custom Leatherworks. Hello. How's it going? It's going good. Going good, actually. And hey, Paul. Paul Newman's here. GP in the house. Hey, buddy. And one of my moderators. And let's see, Salient Aquatics, another moderator. And we have Devamish Prasad. Devamish Prasad, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, my friend. Not a combination of letters I'm familiar with. R. Baglio. Welcome, R. Baglio. And Team Rami also on. All right. Kevin Warner. Anybody have experience with Monte Cristo cichlids? I don't think I've even heard of a Monte Cristo cichlid. Is that a South American? A South American cichlid, I imagine? Maybe Central American? When I hear Monte Cristo, I think of a deep fat fried sandwich called a Monte Cristo. Janelle Chu is in the house, and I hope you are feeling better soon, Janelle. And I'm sure we will have some advice for you on how to fill up that 75-gallon. Let's see, Cichlid King, Cat Sailor in the house, and Angelo is here. Great group of folks. JD, all right. Someone's asking about Cichlid Shack delivery. We'll get into that. I'll explain to you a little bit about that. Cichlid Shack is a sponsor of the channel. And let's see here. There we go. Cichlid Shack. That is the Cichlid Shack logo. They have several logos. This is the newer one. And but they have they use Southwest shipping, and what that means, it's a cargo. They use the cargo service. Now, one thing that I know came up recently is if you use them, be sure that Southwest is delivering to your airport. They deliver to hundreds of airports, but they might not deliver to yours. And so just really be sure you check. And if they don't, then use the FedEx option, because there is also a FedEx option that you can use. But be sure that they are delivering to your closest airport. And if you do order from them, you can still use the Shack Attack 15 for 15% off on fish orders over $100, 10% off on dry goods like equipment, supplies, food, Extreme, what I feed these big boys. And you can also use Ben SW50 for a flat rate on shipping for orders up to 50 pounds. And again, these orders have to be $100 minimum, and you can combine the orders, or you can combine the codes rather. So check out the Shack. You will not go wrong. These are all, let me see. Yeah, every single one of them is a Shack fish. These are all Shack fish that you're seeing here. So, yeah, check out the Shack. And we also have a couple Shack's choices today. Let's take a look at them. These are a couple fish. We have a Skittles Red Line. And let's see. There we go. No, that's not it. That's not the one I want. This is the one I want. This fish, interestingly enough, is a red shoulder that came from the Skittles OB line of fish. Go figure that you can. This is a video that James took and sent to me. But you can actually get a fish that looks like this from 2 OBs, if you can believe that. So very, very cool. And then we also have a, let me see here. I got one other fish here I want to show you for Shack's Choice. There it is, a Eureka Red. This is a Eureka Red over 5 inches, going for $69.99. So if you like these fish, contact the Shack right away. The ones last week, 2 of them were gone right away. Actually, a local buyer came in and bought 2 of them, and so they Shack's Choice go usually pretty quick. So jump on those. All right, let's go and close that up. We'll leave the logo out. How's the audio and visual? Let me know how the audio and visual is. Does it look good? Does it sound good? I do 25 checks before I start these live streams, but you can still have little glitches. How's the AV, my friends? Let me check the chat for the audio visual feedback. Hey, Jerry's Fish Room in the house. Be sure to check out Jerry's Fish Room on YouTube. And Whipswirl AV is great. Thank you, Whipswirl. And Davey as well. Phillies 215 Aquatics. Good. All right. Excellent. Thank you, my friends. Looks and sounds good. Okay. Solar King Ronnie in the house. Clarity Aquatics. Great names. And Kathy Gunez. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Philly 215. You must be either from Philadelphia or a big Phillies fan. Luke Biba. I just rescaped my 75-gallon discus and Severum tank and went to a canister filter. Very cool, Luke. Be sure to check out my canister playlist. It'll save you a lot of grief. And I'll tell you, there's some folks are afraid of canisters. I understand why. Hey, Frank, ¿cómo estás, amigo? Mucho gusto en verte aquí. One of the things that frighten people about canisters is if they leak, you have basically a siphon in the tank that is going to draw a tremendous amount of water. So I get it. I get why some people are afraid of that, but there are safeguards that you can put in place. My canisters are not leaking, and I keep them leak-proof by servicing the O-rings with a food grade silicone lubricant. So when I service them, I'll put a little bit of lubricant on the O-rings. Also, I keep them in a large rubber tub. There's also what is called a watchdog water alarm at the bottom of the tub. So if there ever is a leak, I'm going to get a very loud shrill throughout the house that will tell me there's a leak. And it's on a pad. I put a styrofoam pad under it. And what else do I do? So there's several safeguards. The baskets inside the canister are not overstuffed. There's a little bit of room at the top of each basket so that they fit together very nicely. And so everything clamps down the way it's supposed to. There's no rattle. There's no sound. They're perfectly quiet. And there's nothing to really be afraid of. If you're doing it that way, your chances of failure and certainly catastrophic water damage is very, very, very small. So that's my hot tip on canisters. But there is a whole canister playlist, and don't be afraid to jump in. So JD, don't know there was a FedEx option. Yeah, if you don't accept. If you're using the Shack and you don't accept the FedEx option, or you don't accept the Southwest Cargo, which is the recommended way to go, because you get the fish like within hours. I mean, you get your fish, right, depending where you are, and flight schedules, assuming there's no delays, weather problems, whatever. But it's very fast way to get your fish. The way he packs them in thick styrofoam, double bagged. The fish is in a double bag. Then there's a big bag around that, and then there's heat pads in there. You're going to be amazed at how well packed they are. But if you don't accept the Southwest, you can select a FedEx option. a FedEx option. People in Arizona can accept a UPS ground option. Outside of Arizona, you have FedEx or Southwest are the options. All right, so let's see here. So what do you think about this angle? I've changed the angle so you can get more of the tank in the live stream. You know, when you start a live stream, there's various factors, right? There's the angle, so right, camera placement, and background. You have to look at your background. What's going to be in the background? Is it going to be distracting? Is it pleasant? You know, then you have to set up the right exposure for the camera, and then you got to make sure the sound is right, and that what's called the color temperature is right. There's a lot of factors, and I start setting up for the live stream on Friday night, and then and it was really good. I did, and it's good I started early because there was an update to my computer, and I lost a lot of stuff. I had to do a complete reload of all of my apps. I had to set up my logons again, and I had to recreate all of the scenes of my live stream. It was just a tremendous task, but at any rate, so there's a lot of work. But what do you think about this angle? This I like it because I feel like the fish are like right in my ear here. One of the things I love about African cichlids is they are not shy. They are, I mean, look, they're all kind of bunched up here against me. They're going to be getting a feeding. I'm going to drop a bunch of krill in here, and I'm going to show you just how ravenous these beasts are. And look at the yellow on this Venusus, almost going into orange. Never seen a blaze on a Venusus like that. So I did a video for my friends over at the Garage Gang. There's a thing called the Garage Gang. I'm not sure if you may or may not be aware of it, but let's see here. I have there it is, Patreon logo. If you click on that logo underneath the banner of my YouTube channel, if you're on a PC and you click on that banner, it'll take you to my Patreon. And I have what are called Garage Gang members, and they help the channel with monthly support. They are very, very appreciated. And from time to time, I'll put together a video that is, you know, exclusively for them. And then maybe after a few days or so, I'll get an itch and want to share it. So big shout out to my Patreon members. affectionately referred to as the Garage Gang. And but I sent them a video, and I thought, you know what, I think I'll just share it with my Saturday crew, because you folks are all kind of like friends and part of the family. So here's a little video for you I did, and you can tell me what you think about it. Hey, Denny, good to see you there, buddy. Stay warm. Yeah, I know it's cold up there. It's getting cold here too. We're in the we're getting into, well, we hit zero. You know, we hit zero a few weeks ago, and then it got nice and warm. We got up into the 60s, and it's beautiful. But now it's dropping again into the 30s, and I suspect as we head to the end of the month and into February, we'll probably get into the 20s and possibly the teens again. I hope we get one more snowstorm. I really love the snow. The fish room has been staying nice and warm with the with that Dr. Heat floor unit that I have. Plus, I'm blowing in warm air from the house using a fan by the door. So the garage is staying comfortable. I'm in shorts right now, and I did insulate the garage door, as some of you know, and that, of course, helped a lot. But I'm going to show you this little video I did, and then we can give these big boys some krill, which I'm sure they'll appreciate. And then I'll go ahead and we can open it up to some of your questions. Luke, it's a little early for whiskey, but not a bad idea. You know, I'm in whiskey country here in Tennessee. And, you know, I've got kind of a sweet tooth, and there's a thing called a screwball, which is a peanut butter flavored whiskey. And For you whiskey purists out there, you probably hate me now, but let's go ahead and play this video for you, and I hope you enjoy it. Well, I seldom record in anything more than 1080p or HD, but I decided to go ahead and try out some of the 4K functions of my camera. And so this particular video is a very rare in 4K depiction of the fish. As you can see, the Autopharynx tetrastigma, despite the missing eye, is doing okay in the tank. Beautiful color, very active. Makes me wonder if he was just lonely, you know, just had spent so much time in a large group of fish with so much swim room, and all of a sudden he was alone in a very cramped space. Which is why I asked in that last video if you thought that fish could get lonely. Because it sure seemed like he did, and he sure seems different now. When the living stone eye has spots, that means he's in a good mood. When he goes solid blue-green, there's going to be trouble. But he's kind of chill right now. I love the scales on this guy. Buccochromis spectabilis. Here's the eye biter. Such a strange shaped fish. Eye biter. Lethronops oculatus. Bicolor 500 over there, the runt of the tank. He gets chased around by the Taiwan reef every now and then, another Protomelus. There's the Malawi gar. Amazing lips on that fish. Love the sand diver. Didn't have much color when I first got him. Great markings, great color on him now. That trout is just a beast. For some reason they're all hanging around on the left side of the tank. I don't know if they're startled because I'm sitting right in front of it filming them. This guy right here is an Insignis. Goes from a nice deep blue, black bars, and an orange belly and anal fin. Really pretty specimen. Not sure if I'll release this as a video or just leave it exclusively for my Patreon supporters. Bicolor 500, that's a brave fish. Took me about 2 months to get that eye biter out of quarantine. Took 2 months for me to be convinced that he could hang with the big boys, that he could eat and, you know, attack his food, but he did fine. Ever since I brought him over, he did fine. My quarantines are not based necessarily on a specific amount of time. They're based more on the fish showing that they are going to be able to thrive in the big tank. In other words, I have to see a certain level of swagger or attitude, and I have to see a real good appetite. and I don't want them to be shy. Look at the markings on the Kawingi. Very pretty. The blaze on this Venusis, absolutely beautiful. Big shout out to James over at the Cichlid Shack for just getting me some extraordinary fish. This one here is a turquoise hap. See if we can see him there. Turquoise hap. There he is. It's getting more and more turquoise over time. The Strigatus often gets neglected. You see him right there. He's got those beautiful egg spots. Got those beautiful egg spots on the anal fin. But doesn't get a lot of time on camera. Very shy, tends to hang out by the back. Here's the hawk. Another very uniquely shaped fish. So there you have it. Cichlids in 4K. The Strigatus is a cousin of the eyebiter. Check out the eyebiter, the general shape, the egg spots, and compare them to the Strigatus. You'll see the similarity. Hey there, Vinny. Very yellow. Sometimes the Venusis can go more towards green. This one is very yellow. There's the Fusco back there. Looks pretty blue and red today. Hiding behind the plant. Let me see if he'll wrap around here. We're hiding in the darkened corner. There he is. This is a Fusco. A Nimbochromis, just like the living stone eye right here, and just like Vinny wherever he went over there. Part of the Nimbochromis family, considered to be some of the most aggressive African cichlids. This turquoise is looking really good. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm certainly enjoying these fish in this tank with a bigger footprint. They have a lot of swim room, a lot of turnaround room, a lot of room to grow up in. If they get into an occasional chase, there's definitely enough room to get away. So there you go. African cichlids in 4K. Hope you enjoyed that. And it was a video that was made originally for the for the Patreon supporters. And but sometimes I look at something and go, I think I should share this. So let's take a look at some of the things that you're commenting on. And let's see. Hey, I noticed the other night John Hudson went live again. I thought we had lost him in the live stream world. So good to see him back in the live stream mix. John Hudson over at KG Tropicals. All right, so let's see here. Chris G, next up. No, we're going to go right to 16K. We're going to go to 16K. The truth is that once you get above a certain level, it doesn't matter because YouTube will not support it. I think 4K is the highest YouTube will support. So, and for a long time, after 4K was already available, YouTube didn't support 4K. And so people would post 4K videos, and really they were just getting HD. And, HD for the devices that most of you watch your videos on, right? Your laptop, your phone, HD is fine. Maybe in a 100-inch TV, you're going to start noticing a real difference between HD and 4K. But HD is pretty good. So let's take a look at a few of your comments here. Let's take a look at the chat and see what we have going on here. Let's see here. Hey, Paul. Paul's in the house. Good to see you. And Frank, you're feeling a little relaxed after that video? I thought the smooth jazz piano in the background there. Yeah, I think fish keeping should be relaxing. I get emails very often from folks, and I can tell that their general approach is a little bit of a franticness, and I really don't think that is how you should approach it. You should it should be relaxing for you. If it's not, we got to figure out why and fix it. Some folks, they get that multi-tank syndrome, like one of you mentioned here, and like Frank, you mentioned MTS, multi-tank syndrome. You just got to be careful because you can go too far, just get too much, and then it's work every single day. It's work. I've got about 2 days a week where I've got to put about 4 hours in, and do some good cleaning. After this live stream, I'm going to get into some glass cleaning, some water changes, things of that nature. And so I'll put another 4 hours in maybe after today's live stream. And I really enjoy it. I find that very therapeutic. You get that sense of completion, when you're done. And I really enjoy that a lot. Salient Aquatics found a 210-gallon pre-drilled for $250. That is a steal. I hope it's in good shape and you don't have to reseal it. And I hope it doesn't have too many scratches. That is amazing. That's an amazing deal. Janelle Chu, my favorite filters are my live plants. There's a lot to say for that. A lot to say for that. And I've seen aquariums where they're a completely, ecosystem that is completely enclosed. And I think that's very, very cool. Where the cleanup crew and, the shrimp and the cories and, the pleco, they take care of the cleaning, and the plants consume a lot of the waste. And it's pretty amazing to me. All right, let's see here. I'm going to take a look at some of your questions. I've gone back in the chat to see what you were talking about. Let's see. Thank you for encouraging them to hit the like button. Team Remy, I'm looking for questions. I Can't Shoot. What a interesting name. I did a 90% water change and now my fish is looking like he's going to die. Any tip to save them? Man, that's a tough one. Be sure you're conditioning that water. It's a variety of things that might have happened. You might have You might have had a change in the water temperature while you were filling the tank. You know, someone turns on the dishwasher or the washer, you know, the clothing washer. You run out of hot water. You know, you could have had a temperature shift. You could have had a pH shift, a big pH shift. It might have been a conditioning issue. Maybe you didn't condition as much. Maybe the dosage was off. Usually when they start to get into a real big distress like that, you got chlorine, ammonia issues, something coming out of the tap. You should test your tap water, and or just the conditioning didn't occur. And so just condition your water every day, and I don't know, test it again, see where it's at, you know, on a water test, and fingers crossed, you know, if they get into severe distress, they start to turn over, you know, they start to show, you know, swim bladder issues, the fins clamp, they hang out near the bottom. I mean, it's real tough to come back from, unfortunately. But, yeah, test your water. Take a look at where it's at, and you might have killed off bacteria. Maybe if you messed with did you mess with the filters? Did you do a lot of deep gravel vacuuming? I mean, maybe the tank isn't mature enough. The beneficial bacteria isn't established enough, and maybe you created a momentary ammonia spike. Is there any redness around the gills? Are you seeing irritation around the gills? Maybe there's ammonia or chlorine issues. I mean, it's a tough one. All you can do is condition and keep testing and hope that you get through it. All right, let's see here. TNZ in the house. Misty the cat. What a great name. I love these YouTube names. Misty the cat. Okay. Solar King Ronnie getting a 70-gallon plexiglass from Dad. Very cool. It'll be worth the trip. Assuming it's not scratched up. I mean, they're just awesome. Kathy Gunez, yes, the fish are getting large, and I don't realize it until I try and net one of them. And the truth is, I don't think I have a net big enough for that Malawi trout right now. I'm gonna have to invest in a much larger net, or start using the net that I use when I go fishing. So I'm gonna have to get a bigger net. Frank Vera is resealing a 20-gallon. That's a lot of fun. Be sure to water test it outside for about 48 hours. Wait 48 hours after the reseal, and then test it for 48 hours to make sure there's no leaks. And JD, yes, there is a FedEx option. It'll go right to your door. That's the way to go if you're far from an airport. And there is, if you click under the shipment options at the Cichlid Shack under Southwest, if you click under it, I think there's all the locations show up. So you can make, you know, double confirm that they will come to your area. Let's see here. I am cruising the questions. Luke Biba, I love how quiet the canister is. Don't even know it's running. Yeah, you've got to really look on top to make sure. I mean, you can tell by looking at my aquarium. I'll just go back here to the main screen.
Well, I seldom record.
You can tell that the
in anything more than 1080p or HD.
There we go. You can tell by looking at the top of my aquarium, there's a lot of movement going on. If I tilt this down just a little bit, if I move the scene down, you see how much movement. That kind of movement is occurring on both sides of the aquarium. Those are the outputs from the two Shisei 5.0 synchro-silent pumps that are in the sump. And then you have the outputs from the FX6. So there's a tremendous amount of water movement going on in this aquarium. And somebody mentioned something about oxygen, and thank me for the tip on putting in air stones. And keep in mind, your fish don't have to be hanging at the top and gasping constantly to be low on oxygen. They can be only a little low on oxygen. And that will create a certain amount of stress. So, my advice is make sure you have a lot of surface breakup, and there should be virtually no movement. I mean, their mouths should be, unless they're excited or about to eat, there should be, or eating, there should be no real movement on the mouths. If the mouth is working, you've got a little bit of an issue. But by the time the mouth is working, your O2 level, your oxygen level has dropped too much. And by the time they're hanging at the top, you have a real serious situation. So, if their mouths are working at all, definitely break up more surface tension, either by putting the outputs, pointing them upward, adding you can add a wave maker that's pointed upward. You can, there's a lot of ways you can do it. You can add a bubbler, you can add an air stone, right? Lots of ways of doing that. And I think that was Aquadan that actually had that comment about that. Just wanted to say thanks for convincing me to use an air stone on my tanks. Thought I had enough surface agitation, but fish are noticeably happier. It's interesting what'll happen. You'll see more color, which is interesting. They'll be more active, and again, do you remember the last time you were a little bit out of breath? Maybe you ran up some stairs or something, or depending on the shape you're in, right? And what's your attention on? Your resources are dedicated to getting enough oxygen. So you're not going to be interested in too much in breeding, in moving around much, in eating. No, you're trying to get oxygen. So anyway, just a tip there. So and I'm glad that worked out for you there, Aquadan. So Peas and Haps Forever. Does anyone know when PetSmart dropped the 25% off coupon on their app? Used to be able to play for a. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I've never used that coupon. Boy, I'd love to see that coupon. Now I know that is it PetSmart now that has a club membership, and maybe that's what changed. PetSmart now, if you're part of their program, I think you can get a $10 a month, $10 a month membership, and they send you discount coupons. You get an automatic discount at checkout, and you get like $5 or $10 of credit every month in a form of a coupon. I mean, so it kind of pays for itself if you use it. But I know they've got that club membership. They tried to sell me last time I was in there, and it was like a timeshare. I couldn't leave. I was like, look, I've got to go. But thanks for the. Philly, beautiful angle. You like the angle? Good. I'm glad that Philly 215 Aquatics likes the angle. Good. Angelo, I've left the Christmas lights on. I kind of like them in the background. I mean, do you think it's cheesy? I kind of like that little contrast of light in the back. It's kind of cool. I put them on top of the tank when I shoot directly toward the tank, but I have them back there, and I don't know. I just think they're kind of cool. I mean, do you think I should get rid of the Christmas lights? I'm calling them live stream lights now. We'll call them live stream lights. So you tell me. You tell me what you think. Cali Kev, your Irish coffee. You're asking if I have Irish coffee. Irish coffee is delicious, and I like the way that name has been changed. Cali Kev. I should I be Ben? Cali Ben? Cali Ben? Because I'm Cali as well. So Cali. Hey, country strong and free in the house. Peanut butter whiskey. It's called a screwball. Are you familiar with that? It's don't buy a bottle because it's too good. And all right, let's see. Country got that pump about 3 days ago on the stream thing. Okay, good. Country Strong and Free won a pump, and we sent it over to him. That's a really nice pump. Expensive. So we're like, I don't know, what is it? Like online it's like $50, $60. Really nice of the folks at Higer to throw that in there. Janelle, screwball, yum. You can mix it with banana. Oh boy, we're going way off track here. Where's my old friend Whiskey in the Six? We used to have someone here in the live stream, Whiskey in the Six. I haven't seen him in a while. And we even thought about doing a little bit of a live stream together and a little Whiskeys and Cichlids. But I haven't seen him in a while. Let's see here. I'm getting a lot of tips here. Daniel P. Mix it with Chambord, make a PB&J old-fashioned. Oh boy, what box have I opened here? Paul Newman, my Insignis, getting back to fish, my Insignis is pushing 7 inches. Come here, buddy. He's just a beautiful fish. And at one point, he got a little bit of a foggy eye, and it cleared up. And I was a little bit scared, but he's all cleared up now and looks great. Come on up here, buddy. Anyway, he's just a gorgeous fish. You're going to see all the fish right now. I'm going to throw some. Let's throw some frozen krill in here. He carried it around like a cigar. If you've just tuned in, I just fed them frozen krill. My aquarium is not this dirty. You know, it's really funny is one of the bigger fish will put like 5 or 6 krill in there, and no way he can eat them all, and just carry them around until they give up and they just spit them all out. The bigger hogfish like the gar, that big mouth of his. Anyway, they love krill. Definitely love krill. So, XJ, that piano piece is provided by my friends over at Epidemic Sound. And in the description under the video, there is a copyright notice with the name of the artist. But yeah, it's a real relaxing piece. And let's see here, Jerry's Fish Room 4K is not worth the extra size in the file. Jerry, you know, that's the conclusion I came to in the beginning, that the 4K is the files are so enormous that on most computers, especially if you're working on a laptop, you are going to run out of space real quick. Hey, someone hits me with a super chat. Who was that? Angelo. Hey, Angelo. Thank you for that super chat, my friend. I appreciate that. Frozen krill is the only snack I give the fish. The only special snack. I don't give them, some people say they give bloodworms. I've heard that can cause digestive issues for African cichlids. I do give bloodworms to my other fish, including my community fish. And let's see here. J-Man 7347. I've had these fish for about 2 years. The ones that came in the original shipments. And they were originally in a 55, and then they went to a 210, and now they're in this 300-gallon, 7-foot across tank. So I'd say a couple years. So I got them pretty big, and this is one of those questions you have to ask yourself if you get into cichlids. Do I grow them out, which is so much fun, when they start to color up and you realize that you did in fact buy a male, then again, you might have a female, and then you have to start over again and then go out and buy a big one because the other one's already large. But these fish were bought already a good size. And this is why when you look at things like the Cichlid Shack and you go, well, wait a minute, why is that fish $69? Well, it took about 3 years of keeping that fish in good conditions, keeping him healthy and feeding him to get him up to that 6-7 inches that you see. And so I picked these up. They're about maybe 5 inches, 4, 5, 6 inches. And look at that tangerine tiger. Wow. Look at this guy. He's got about 4 pieces of krill in his mouth, the living stone eye. Just a complete pig. He's going to have to spit some of them out. So anyway, yeah, if you want to have the, if you want to get right into the large colored up cichlids and you want to have absolute certainty that it's a male, you go with the larger fish. You pay the price. If you want to, if you want to just over time grow them out and go through that process, it's very enjoyable. And maybe you're starting off with a smaller tank. You don't have the budget or the room for a big tank right off the bat, but you feel you will in the future, then yes, start off with the smaller fish, save the money, and grow them out. Buy 3 of each of the fish that you like. You're going to have some die off. It's inevitable. You're going to have, and you're going to have probably some females in there. So if you buy 3 unsexed fish, you'll be okay. Usually 3 or 4 unsexed small cichlids and grow them out. Look at that guy. Wow. I don't know why, but the sand diver is real dark today. Love sand divers. Really mellow fish. Hey, Davey Larson hits me with a super chat. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. All right. Back to you and your questions. Angelo says use Metallica music. I do use Metallica music on my Instagram posts. So you got to follow me on Instagram, ben.o.cichlid. And from time to time, I will use Metallica. So, all right, let's see here. XJ, it was beautiful music. I'm glad you liked it, XJ. I'm glad you liked it. And Oscar Peterson is, you happen to bring him up, one of my favorites. There's a great series of videos of Oscar Peterson Masterclass on YouTube. Check it out. All right, let's see here. Window Liquor in the house. I can't say that name without laughing. Window Liquor number 5. And I'm always wondering, is there a Window Liquor 1, 2, 3, and 4? It's like, all right, leave the lights only if you're going to dance for us on a super... You don't want to see me dancing. Whip Swirl, Jerry at Animal Island south of Chicago, T&Z's Fish House. There you go. There you go. T&Z has the information. You can join Petco's Small Pet Critical Care and get 20% off everything. And fish and aquariums are included. Yeah, so you get like right at the checkout, you get the discount. Plus, they send you coupons that are like Petco Cash. So, yeah. I mean, if you're going to go, let's say you went to go buy an FX6, 20%. Let's say it was on sale, and you got the 20%, and you used your Petco your PetSmart Cash, or Petco Cash. Yeah, it would be probably where it should be priced. All right, let's see here. Leave the lights on till next Christmas. Sean says leave the lights on. You know, we're real good about our house lights. Our house lights are down by the 28th or 29th, all our Christmas stuff is down, and certainly by the end of December, our tree is out. But I like these little lights behind me, so we'll see. We'll see. Cherokee Aquatics in the house. The Christmas light on top of the tank are cool. Give the glass a cool glow. I agree. I like that. Let's see here. Joe Coffee. Love that name, Joe. Joe Coffee. I do love Cherokee Aquatics. That's a great name too. Yeah, the filtration, Paul, is about 3,200 gallons per hour is right. Yeah, you have two 1,600 or 1,700 gallons per hour pumps in the sump, right? Two of them. And that's become very common now in the sump world. In case one pump fails, you still have circulation going. So, especially important if you have things like, like corals, right? You have a reef tank. I mean, the circulation stops and these guys start dying off on you. So I have two pumps down there. Then I have the FX6. So there's a tremendous amount of water turnover going on, and which is important for fish like this. And do I see another super chat? Are you guys are you bombarding me here, throwing money at the pole dancer? Let me see here. Mr. Kevin J 2002. Hello, building a 90-gallon stand for friends, Mabuna tank, as I listen and watch you. Very, very cool. And Kevin, are you using the technique where you build the frame, horizontal framing on the top and bottom, like a collar, and then support it with corner beams and middle beams? And I'm just kind of curious what style. I've thought about building a stand, and it seems like it wouldn't be that difficult. I mean, I've been real fortunate to get these a good discount and on the stands from my friends over at the Glass Cages. So I've been really happy with that. But I've contemplated building a stand, and anyway, we'll see. Just kind of curious what blueprint you're using. LKB Pythons. When acclimating fish in general, I usually like, especially if they traveled in a box. And I'll put the question up there so you can see it. I'll pin it. When acclimating Mabunas, do you turn off lights? If so, for how long? If the fish came in a box, I definitely turn the lights off. Because think about it, they've been traveling, they've been in the dark, and it's kind of a shock. Even though sometimes if I'm filming an unboxing video, I'll hold them up and show them to you. So I do go against my my method there, but I do turn the lights off. I let them float, and usually about 15 to 30 minutes if I get distracted. Really never more than 30 minutes. And then I take the bag out, I cut the bag open, and I pour them through a net. So the water in the bag goes into a bucket, and then I flop, they call it flop and drop, right? I drop the fish in, and the lights stay off, usually, until the next morning, because I want it to be nice and calm. And when the lights do come on, I want the fish to look around and go, oh, you must have always been here, because I guess. So I want the fish just to accept the other fish. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't going to be some attacking going on at night. And so even though the lights are off, I still walk by and watch the tank after a new addition, because the fish sometimes lose their mind. So, and I hope that helps. Now, if I add the fish early in the morning, I will turn the lights on that night at the normal time and observe what's going on. And I hope that answered your question. Whip's World has a serious question. And when someone says that, I know it's usually probably not a serious question. Whip's World, serious question. How do I go to these swaps and not use the money set aside to pay my mortgage on everything in here? Help me, Obi-Wan. You're my... Oh my God. Now, my question, I guess, is, are you married? And when you get home and say that the mortgage was spent on beautiful fish, what kind of reaction do you get? Oh, don't take the money you don't want to spend with you to the show. Oh, jeez. I'm sorry, Michael, that happened. Michael lost his Phosphorochromis last week. Already have a new one coming from the shack. Sorry about that, my friend. I hate when you lose fish like that. What happened? Did he jump or did he get beat up? I'm curious to know what happened to him. Mohammed Hussein Hamdoulay, how to raise peacock bass. You know, I don't have any experience with peacock bass. Beautiful fish. You're going to need a 300-gallon or larger aquarium. I know that for sure. And you can buy them really small, you know, and they're really cute when they're small. But, you know, they get massive. And they have massive mouths when they get older, so they can eat very large fish. So anyway, there's a lot of if you just Google a peacock bass on YouTube, you'll get a lot of help. Vibes Aquatics, thank you, my friend. Always appreciated. XJ, thank you for that, my friend. Yeah, nothing like Oscar. And LKB Pythons, do you have awesome moderators? I do have awesome moderators. I think they're the best on YouTube, and really their job is to keep the keep it family friendly. This is a family friendly 99.9% of the time. It's a family friendly channel, and the only one allowed to make it unfamily friendly from time to time is me. And they do a good job. I really appreciate it. I'm really blessed with some wonderful moderators. And all right, any more questions? Henry Bowman, I have had the lights off and cover my tank for a day or for a day, hours when introducing new Mabuna. Yeah, there's I like to keep it dark, but I also like to keep an eye on things because, like when I put the Autopharynx tetrastigma back in here, where is he? He's in the back there. My Lazarus fish, Jack Sparrow. When I put him in, I did have the tank dark and relaxed. But if I had had it covered, I wouldn't have noticed that the Rhodesii yellow, Buccochromis rhodesii yellow, was going to kill him, and was just on him and on him and on him and on him and wouldn't stop. The living stone, I chased him a few times, but then lost interest. That's real different. I mean, I expect a fish in an African cichlid tank to get tuned up a little bit, right, to get a little bit of an African cichlid welcome when they get added to the tank. You know, everybody's going to kind of go, well, look, you know, hey, I just want you to know that you're not above me in the pecking order here. So everybody kind of shuffles around and tries to make sure that, you know, that they understand who's in charge. But that should settle out. That should settle out. There's the Fusco. Look at that Fusco. It's beautiful. It should settle out. But then if it doesn't, if the fish continues on them and on them, you've got to pull them out. You got to pull out the new fish, or you got to pull out the aggressor. In my case, I pulled out the Rhodesia yellow, and I put him in the split 55 gallon, and that's where he is. He's still in there. So I'll be adding him back in probably in about a week, and we'll go from there. All right. I think we're already on the hour. Let's see if there's any more questions. And I hope I caught all the super chats. If I missed any, I'm sorry. Hey, Dan Coe was in the house. Didn't notice. And Joseph, Keyshawn. Peas and haps forever. My albino eye biter. Yeah, that's eye biters in general can be a bit aggressive, and you add the albino as the dominant gene, and you've got yourself a very interesting combination. Where's my eye biter? There he is. For those of you who came on late, the tank looks the way it looks because I just put a cup of frozen krill in there. And so it looks like a little bit of a sandstorm. But yeah, albinos are can be a handful in any fish, let alone an eye biter. He looks like an Imperial battle cruiser from Star Wars. Amazing. Have you seen a OB eye biter? OB eye biter. Crazy looking fish. Absolutely crazy looking. Very, very pretty. Robert Egan comes in. Yeah, where have you been? Where have you been there, Robert? You have been missing in action. But I'm glad to see you here, my friend. And thank you for that super chat. Very appreciated. You can go and sleep with your fish, peas and haps forever. Now, if you were in the mob, that is not something you'd want to say to somebody, that you're going to go sleep with the fish, because it means you're going to be getting a concrete pair of shoes and be thrown into the Hudson. So, for those of you fans of The Godfather, he sleeps with the fish. All right, any final questions before we end off? I really appreciate you folks being here. I don't want to use up your entire weekend. And look for a fish room update. I am going to be putting out a fish room update. And I have a couple of the videos I've been percolating. I had one on the use of testing strips. Didn't like the way it came out, so I didn't release it. Any topics you want to see in videos, let me know. I'm thinking about opening up the Sun canister. It's been about 5 months, and see how it's doing with that pre-filter, and see if I got the same results with the Sun that I've been getting with the FX6, where the inside is staying pretty clean. So I might do a breakdown of the Sun canister, and maybe even a little bit of a sump filtration 101 video. Just talk about how to set up sumps so they never flood. And so I got a few ideas that I'm floating around. When you do the filtration videos, it's a lot of work because you've got to be working on the equipment and at the same time moving the camera around and pausing, and so and I've been a little bit tight on time recently because I'm spending more time with my granddaughter, to be honest with you. 3 days a week I go there and help out in the morning. So at any rate, there you go. And I want you all to have a wonderful weekend. Thank you to my super chatters. Thank you to my moderators. Thank you to all of you. And all of you who gave it a thumbs up and showed up. All of you subscribers, thank you so much for the support. We're getting close to 50,000. And thank you to my wonderful Patreon members. Your support is very, very appreciated. And so with that, I think we will go ahead and end off. And be sure to, if you haven't, to subscribe. And that's all I have to say. Thank you, my friends. I'll see you next week at the same time. And we'll do a little birthday celebration. Next week is my birthday. Can you guess my age? We'll do a little game. Whoever guesses my age, I'll send them out something. All right. There you have it. Thank you, my friends. Bye-bye for now.